here, our planet looks perfect. It's only when we look more closely that we start to see some of the results of our consumption. Does anyone know what happens to it all? This is not just a local problem.
Somehow in the deep ocean, we've got more trash than life.
We produce too much waste. We don't think about the consequences when we throw stuff away.
It seems to be a case of out of sight, out of mind.
Nature functions by building up and breaking down, building up and breaking down. We keep putting things into the environment that don't break down.
We did it with smoking, the smoking ban. We did it with seatbelts and wearing seatbelts. We did it with drink driving, actually, when that became unacceptable. We need to do this with waste.
Perhaps times will change and we will.
My name is Juliet and I'm 14 years old.
I live in California. I play field hockey, I go to the beach with my friends, I sing, and...
I would like to see an end to ivory trade and for humans and elephants to just be at peace with one another, and for the elephants to, have their space back. And I would like to see for the population of elephants to go back up where it should be. Living here, people are definitely shielded a lot from elephants and what goes on in Thailand and these faraway places. You can just go to a zoo and see an elephant and have no idea what goes on behind the scenes, how the elephant got there, how they got it so in that tight space, and it's really easy here to go by without being exposed to any of the cruelty behind animals in captivity.
There were rumors in the funeral industry locally that there were these granola heads in Westminster who had some property and they were burying bodies unembalmed without vaults. And there were talk about animals digging up the graves, that the place was haunted. I mean, there were all sorts of crazy things being talked about at the time.
Books on the natural history of the honeybee say that the honeybee queen should live 3 to 5 years, but increasingly she doesn't even live 1 year, and it's become a current practice among commercial beekeepers in the U.S. to re-queen twice a year. So queens aren't even living a full year now, they're living half a year before being replaced. And I think what's wrong is that we're raising bees in a kind of a factory style where it's not quality, it's quantity.
We would go out and we'd swim in the water and we'd fish and we'd pick berries. Our parents fathers would shoot the rabbit, the deer, the moose. And so the chemicals would be on the trees, then, you'd have the animals eating it, goes up the food chain. So, well, we were also getting contaminated at the same time.
My hometown is on the Mississippi, just across the river from Wisconsin. Until last year, no one ever talked about mining here. And if you'd said the sand in our hills was worth a fortune, most people would have said, "You're crazy." My wake-up call came from my brother John, who lives just outside town. A farm south of his place had been quietly sold for $2.6 million, about 3 times what it was worth. The buyer was an oil company. Geology isn't my strong suit, but John has a degree in it. He confirmed what I thought. There's no oil in Goodhue County. We didn't know it yet, but our county was on the brink of a gold rush for sand. Frack sand.
This is the top of the Colorado River. Up here it's called the Green River. It's the farthest point by water from where the river used to empty into the Sea of Cortez in Mexico. The river is freedom. While floating on the water, I feel the unmooring from routine, the alteration of time, the refreshing splash of the uncontrollable. But I always stop, go back to land and civilization, while the river continues without me. That's why I'm here, at the source. I want to be immersed in a river so long that I forget it will ever end.